This conference will now be recorded.
Hi guys, good evening. Mr. Suresh here. Am I audible, guys?
Good evening. Yeah, you're
Good
audible.
evening. Just give me a moment. Guys, just give me a moment, please. Just a moment. Credentials are not working. Yeah. Okay. So, guys, in our session yesterday, we have been looking on the concept of org structure setup, the way how we can configure the organizational structure using the standard layers, standard objects, whatever we have that are delivered by success factors. So all those MDF based standard foundation objects is what we have been using, and we have been establishing the company structure by relating each and every layer, by connecting each and every layer using the concept of associations. So this is the one where this concept of association is what we have been looking at on all these MDF foundation objects. MDF foundation objects. So between these MDF foundation objects also we saw association. MDF2 legacy foundation object, that is the normal foundation objects coming from the corporate data model, can also be called as legacy. So the legacy foundation objects, legacy to legacy, even that is like location to zero zone, which is not here. Zero zone is one more foundation object we saw in the corporate data model. Even that legal entity to location, foundation to legacy, all these we have been looking at in our session yesterday. So whatever is the process of connecting the layers and establishing of an organizational structure by connecting all these standard success factors, pre-delivered layers or foundation objects, whatever you call. So by connecting them, however we do the configuration for this associations concept is what we will have a recap once again on all the types, whatever we have been looking at, and followed by today in our session, we'll also concentrate on how to create an association with a custom layer, where completely a new layer has to be brought up into the org structure apart from the standard 4 layers what SF has given, and how do we connect them and all is what we'll be looking at. Okay, so let me first give you the recap. Later, if you have any questions, I'll even take up that. Just a moment. So object definitions is a place where we can actually have the definitions of the MDF foundation objects be found, guys. And manage data is a place where we can create the data for the MDF foundation objects. So MDF foundation objects are those blue colored things: legal entity, business unit, division, department, all those things are MDF based. So in this configure object definition, we will find the definition of that each and every object. So if I go for division, so division object related definition is all about the set of fields. What all fields should be there whenever we are creating a division. That is, we create a division in this manage department screen. So in the manage data screen, so here when we go for division, so already existing divisions we see here on the left hand side. Any division you pick, these are the set of fields. On the screen, what fields are coming is what we see here under the configure object definition in detail under this field section. those MDF fields which appear in the name of MDF system, they don't appear on the front end. The other fields only appear on the front end. And the place where these fields are defined on the screen, what all fields are there, or where these fields are defined, in the same place, the association object is also to be defined. In a new customer system, that is a very fresh implementation when you start with, as I mentioned yesterday, you will not have any standard associations pre-delivered. When it comes to MDF side, there will be no association pre-configured. Business unit, division, department, each of these layers will be independently present. All these are present in the system, but there is no link between them. You can create 10 departments, 20 divisions, anything you can create, but there is no linking. So which department falls under which division falls under which business unit, that linking we don't have. Only this center part of the screen only will be there in the standard system. This part is where we are required to establish an association with its parent layer and connect it. Okay, so during that process, whenever you are creating a business unit, you need to have a legal entity as a parent. When you are creating a division, business unit as a parent, department, division as a parent. So for every two layers that you are trying to connect, any two objects you are trying to connect, the bottom level object has to be connected with its parent. So when I create a division, it asks me what is your business unit. And I'm creating a department, it asks me what is your division, under which division you are part of. That is how the screen is. When I'm creating a division, business unit as a parent, it is asking me. So the place where all these fields are coming, in the same place, this business unit association is also present. That is what we see here under configure object definition, under division object. Scrolling down, first the fields will be done. After that fields is done, you have a section first, association separately. So association is defined with maintaining these 4 parameters. The name of an association, which is purely a free text field. Whatever name of the association you want to give, you can type it. There is no standard recommendation for that. Anything you want to type, you type it here. It's an alphanumeric field, alphabetics or characters or only alphabets, both new mixed up, anything can be supported. Multiplicity level, we have two things, one-to-one and one-to-many, where anything that we are configuring as a consultant, any association that we are configuring as a consultant, we are supposed to use as one-to-many only. There are few areas where standard success factors pre-delivered associations will be there, that can be in one-to-one. But anything a consultant creating one, in this, once the project starts, that we are required to use only one-to-many. That is a technical prerequisite. So what does this one-to-many mean? Is basically on the front end, you can link one division with multiple parent business units, one division with many business units as a parent. That is what this one-to-many means. Okay. So that is the second parameter. One-to-many is what we are supposed to use, and that's an important certification question as well. The prerequisite is we are required to make only one-to-many. One-to-one should not be made. And the destination object is to which parent object you are trying to connect. So division is connected to the business unit, that is this, and the type of association is valid when, so whenever you are trying to connect different objects, different division and department, business unit and division, these are completely different objects. So when we are connecting different objects, only when the parent is valid, child is valid. That is what we saw yesterday. Only when business unit is there, these 3 divisions are applicable. When you're hiring employee against this business unit, even when the divisions comes, these 3 divisions are required to consider, not these. So that way, that is why we call it as valid when association. Among the 3 types, composite and valid when are only being used in the real time. So valid one is what we use here. When the composite comes is in the next week sessions, we'll look into the composite examples. So maintaining these 4 parameters, you will be associating these layers such that with these 4 parameters, once you save it, on the division screen, this business unit as a field comes up with the list of already created business unit. System will display. For every division that you create, you can link it with the business unit. So even if I create a new division, so here along with the division creation fields on the left hand side, it will ask me to under which business unit you want this new division to be placed. It will again ask me that. That is the way we can connect the MDF foundation objects with this association section. But as I told you, this is only 50% of the association definition, which is speaking about the connecting of the objects at the foundation structure level. But when it comes to the employee data level, on the employee people profile, we saw that these all fields will appear, all the company, business unit, division, department, location, all the fields will appear in the employee profile level. When we are hiring an employee, all the data we are required to maintain. So during that process of maintenance of data under this org information section, these are the set of fields when you are required to maintain. As we saw yesterday, based on the business unit that I select, divisions are dependent. Based on division I select, department values are coming based on that. So that way every field is dependent on its parent input. So that is here under actions. When we go for change job and comp info, so here from this path, guys, so whenever we are required to make some promotions of the employee, to change the position, to do a department transfer or a location transfer, anything, you are going through this path. Take action, change job and compensation information. Okay, just in the process I am telling it, but dedicatedly we have a session on how to handle the actions, employee actions like promotions, transfers, termination, all that we'll see in a separate session. But this is a path. Action, change job and comp info. That is where the job information details and the job salary details can also be updated. So from here, whenever you are trying to make some change on the employee job information, it will ask for the date of change, effective date. The change that you are making now will be effective since which day is what it matters. So since today I want the change to be reflected. That is what is the change is what it will ask me the fields now. Here you have all the doc structure fields. So if you want to change the employees business unit, or if you want to change the employees division, so when you choose business unit, obviously the division will change. Under that business unit, what are the divisions? Only that will come. Now under manufacturing as a division, what are the applicable departments? Only that will come. Like that, system changes. So based on the data in one field, the data in the other field is also getting automatically filtered with the applicable values as per that structure, which is same way the example that we saw yesterday, where when you are hiring against communications, you should be choosing the division as 2G or 3G or 4G, which are connected to this communication, but not under these three, which are under petroleum product. So that way, based on the data selected in business unit, the data values in the division are automatically filtered. So there are 6 values, all 6 will not come. When I choose business unit as communication, only these 3 divisions what are connected to this business unit, only they will come in the drop down. That is how it's functioning here. So when business unit is products, only 3 divisions are coming. Under this, what are they? If I choose corporate services, some other items are coming which are more in list, around 7 are coming. That is how it changes. And if I don't give anything in the business unit, it says division as level no data. Until you select a parent properly, I cannot bring the divisions. That is how it functions. For this to happen at an employee portlet level, so whatever we have done the configuration of association is in the objects level. In the configure object definition level we have made, that is at the MDF object level, the output of whatever association that you are making here is reflecting in the manage data screen. Here it is coming, this field is coming, till here it is fine. For that to reflect also in the employee portlets, in the data maintenance portlets at the employee level, how is this done is by maintaining the similar association relationship even at the fields of this portlet. So these are all the fields that are part of job information portlet. So between these fields like business unit, division, department, all these fields level also we are required to establish the relationship. That is where we go for the manage business configuration. Basically we are required to do it at a portlet coding. So portlet coding is coming from succession data model, and that succession data model's front end is manage business configuration. We know that. So that is the place where the balance 50% of the configuration should happen in this business configuration, where under HRIS elements category we find this job info portlet on the left hand side. So if we click on this job info, on the right hand side system will preview with the list of fields of the job information portlet. Among this, the company, business unit, division, department, location, all that org information fields also will be listed here under the job information section. Now here under job information you have these fields: company, business unit, division, department, all this which are under the org information category, org information section. That's why they are appearing here under org information part, all these fields. So among these fields, again, if you are required to continue your association, say between business unit and division, if you are required to establish, among them also, it's at the bottom level. Bottom level object, go to the details of that bottom level object division. And when we go to the details, we know that all these properties like mandatory condition, label of the field, the masking of the data, visibility, maximum length, these attributes we know we can maintain. But scrolling down, we also have a section for field criteria where the parent field name, when you want to connect the division and business unit and division, so in the child level, you are connecting with its parent field name, that is the business unit, the technical field name as it is, you are required to give, case sensitive. If it is small letters there, here also small letters only should be there. If it is capital there, here also capital, like that. On the right hand side, it should be the name of the association, that is between these two layers. When you are trying to connect, what is the name of the association that you have given? So cust underscore to business unit, that is what we are required to paste it here, dot internal id. This internal id is also the field that is present in the same division object level, which will basically store a unique reference number that will be created whenever we are connecting one division with any business unit. Any division getting connected with any business unit, for that combination, one unique reference number will be stored in the database, which will not show in the front end. So that is what we are required to refer here. Association name dot internal id field. Even that is case sensitive. Whatever is a field label here, you have it as it is, copy paste it here, association name dot internal id. Doing this, the association will be 100% complete. 50% is at the MDF object level, the balance 50% is here in the, what do you say, in the business configuration level, in the portlet level fields, among the fields. Okay, so any questions still here, guys? Anyone? Perfect. And this is an example of association between two MDF objects, legal entity, business unit, or business unit, division, department, any of these. If you are connecting, this is the process that we follow. 50% at the configure object definition screen, and the balance 50% at the business configuration, that is the portlet level fields of job info.
Suresh,
Next
I
example.
have a question.
Yeah, please.
This is a one-time activity. I mean, when we are starting with the configuration, this is to be done once, or is it that every time I'm going to create a new division, I have to map each and every division with the business unit, each and every department with the division?
Each and every department division you will connect, that is the data. Configuration you do only once. Department object connecting with division, division
Mhm.
object, division object connecting with business unit is a one-time activity. Whenever you create a division, division 1, division 2, division 3, you keep on creating. Okay,
Yeah.
division 1 I create, I have to map it with one of the business unit. Division 2 I create, I have to map it with some other business unit. That is every
Yeah.
time. For every division you create, you need to have a parent business unit. Data level, it is
That is
a,
part of master
you need to
data
map it.
management. But for configure
Exactly.
object definition and the business configuration part, it is a one-time activity.
Excellent. Exactly. Business configuration and the configure object definition level. This is a consultant job done once. And these maintenance of new divisions coming into the company, new departments coming into the company and all, it's a customer job. After the go live, customer can keep on adding new departments as when the business is expanding. So new divisions, anything they are creating, for every division created, a business unit they have to choose among which business unit is this newly created division part of. They will assign like that. Okay. Any others, guys? Okay. So now to see the example between the legal entity and the location, which is an example between the MDF and the legacy foundation object. This is an MDF foundation object. You can call this as non-MDF or legacy. Non-MDF foundation object or legacy foundation object, anything we can call legacy because these are the old things. So when you want to connect between these two things, even among these two, location is obviously the lower level one. And every time our association definition has to go with the lower level object. So we go to the location object level and we link it with its parent. So first, let us see the front end screen where the data maintenance will happen.
Suresh, I have one question. Sorry to interrupt you. You yesterday mentioned a scenario where one child can have two parents, right? We can have one to multiple parent association, correct?
Yeah.
So in that case, in the second part, that is when we are doing, configuring it in manage business configuration place. So we have to add two parents, is it?
Two parents means you are saying two business is example for a division. Business unit is there. Two business units I'm adding.
Correct.
Is this your as two parents?
No, you mentioned, okay.
I mentioned only till this part. One object
No,
having one parent
Geo
layer.
can
In
report
that,
to communication and Geo can report to in your presentation slide. You
that
had,
is the
yeah.
presentation
Okay, so
slide
it will
also.
be at data level only. Okay. Okay,
Yeah,
got
in
it.
the presentation slide also I did not refer such kind of a thing. So anything initial days I will not confuse you. It will be only one to one. One object having one parent. What I discuss. Okay.
Okay. Okay. Okay. Thank you.
Yeah. Yeah, the next part which we are seeing an association between this legal entity and location, guys. So the lower level object is location. So we go to the place where locations will be created. Where do we create locations, guys? Locations data. Like I want to create a location as Mumbai, Delhi, London, Sydney. Where should I create a new location for this business?
Manage org pay and structure.
Exactly. Org, pay and job structures. Sorry, spelling mistake. Now I am giving you open question, guys. From next Monday, I will ask by name. I'll call the name and I'll ask you the question. Okay. You have to utilize this weekend again. So here in this manage organization page job structures, here is a place where you can find the existing data. So existing locations you say. So you pick any of them. So I pick Bangalore. So for this, here we have it is associated with the India business. Location associated with the India business. Same way, even if you are creating the data on the right hand side, create new location, along with the location fields. It will ask me even the parent legal entity. This is the way. Okay. So where are these fields coming from? Now, where are these fields coming from? There only I am required to also configure even the legal entity related association also. So where are all these fields of location object coming from? So this division related screen fields are coming from configure object definition, which are the MDF foundation objects. Now for this legacy foundation object location, where are the screen fields coming from? You have the answer on the screen. Guys, this is not expected.
Corporate data model.
So, sorry, what's the question? Sorry, we missed it.
Where do we create? Where do we get the screen fields of this location object? Is what I'm saying.
From succession data, corporate data model.
Corporate data model. I see only 2 or 3 people repeatedly saying the answers, guys. Others are in a complete idle mode. I want everyone's active participation here. Okay. So these screen of location object are coming from corporate data model XML because it's a legacy foundation object, orange colored. I'm highlighting it particularly, and you have a legend at the bottom. Orange colored items are managed through corporate data model. You also have the answer itself here on the screen, but you're not able to identify it. Okay, so now if we go for the corporate data model level, so in the corporate data model, it's a place where the location object relevant coding is all done. So here you have the location as an object that has been defined. So on the location screen, whenever I'm creating a new location, what all field should come on the screen is what it is defined in the corporate data model. First, the location object name along with its translations. And after all the 43 translations are done, here you have the fields of the location object. These are all the fields: code of the location, name of the location, description, start date, location group, time zone, all these fields. So till standard hours are the fields what we see on the screen belonging to the location object till standard hours. Then legal entity and even geozone are the two associations that we have. This legal entity is connected with two objects. So one is geozone and one is legal entity, where legal entity is an is a kind of a org structure setup, but zeozone is not an org structure kind of a setup. It is just tagging. One location is tagged with one geographical zone, but legal entity tagging with this location getting tagged with legal entity is what we can even represent it in the org structure level like this. But zeozone represent the zeozone tagging we don't represent anywhere in the org structure. That is not in the part of an organizational structure. Just for the compensation management module purpose, we maintain it in Employee Central. That's it. So that's why we don't specifically call it under the org structure setup process. Location and legal entity, we call it under the organizational structure process, where the tree structure hierarchical model will come. So when location is connected with zeozone and legal entity, obviously the location is the lower level object. We go to the location screen. So that is here. The location object is defined in the corporate data model. Once all the fields are done, once the field definitions is done, then you have the custom fields definitions also, as we discussed in the previous sessions. Custom fields related coding also SF will by default give us. Once this is also done, at the bottom, at the end of these field definitions, we will have the section for associations definition. Here it is. So till here it is the last field of last custom field of location object defined. Then after that, immediately the association section is there with again 4 different parameters with which you are required to define an association at a corporate data model level. So location is connected with zeozone and legal entity. So ID is what the first parameter we are required to maintain. Any number of associations you maintain, you can repeat the same ID as same thing also. It's no problem. You give 1 2 3 4 1 2 3 4 ABCD, no problem. One multiplicity is 1 to 1 for geographical zone, because one location can be tagged with one geographical zone only at one point of time. Geographical zone is like urban, suburban, metro, non-metro, like these. Okay, the different ways how you want to categorize your company locations, those are the geographical zones, which is 1 to 1 association with a destination object of zeozone, and it's a required or non-required, that is a mandatory or non-mandatory association. Like this, we have the definition made here. So for this, the front-end UI representation is coming as along with the regular fields, it will be clubbed up and it comes as a drop down. When it's a 1 to 1, it's a drop down that you see here, guys. And legal entity level, it's 1 to many association. So 1 to many associations will automatically come on to the left hand side of the screen, and here you can assign. So if it is a location that you are creating for, say example, Mumbai is the location I'm creating, it's part of the Indian business. I can keep the legal entity as Best Run India. The code of it is 4000. I remember it. Best Run India. I linked it. If it's the location of say Karachi, it's the Pakistan location. So if there is an entity called Best Run Pakistan, I can link it with that. So every organization have their companies in various countries. So whatever are the legal entities created, and along with that, we will be tagging it. So this way we can have the configurations done. But SF has given this even 1 to many, guys. By default, SF has given this as 1 to many, as we know that this association section is by default present in the standard corporate data model what we download from the help.sab.com. You can see that they already gave it as 1 to many. One location can be part of multiple businesses is what they say. Say Chicago is a location. If I create Chicago as a location, they say that you can link this Chicago with US business. So Best Run company is what they have given. Company is nothing but Best Run US actually. 17101 entity. And if I want to link that location with India business also, I can link it. Two things. It's already there. One second. Here I can link Chicago with US business and even India business. It is allowing me multiple associations, 1 to many, one child with multiple parents. Why should a location be part of two countries business? is that practical case that we see. Say example, in the IT environment, you see it as a common case, guys. Say IBM we have. It's an IT, Accenture, IBM, any company you take, there will be having companies in the US, Europe, various countries. Projects will be outsourced from there to India. We know that because the hourly cost what they have to pay for the Indians is far cheap when compared to the cost that they have to pay for the Europeans in the US, in the euros or the dollars what they have to pay there. That's why the IT services are being outsourced to India. So that is common. So IBM India will get business from IBM US. Accenture India will be getting business from Accenture US. Like this, you have businesses coming in. In that case, if IBM India wants to have one person of them sitting in the US office to coordinate for the coordination activities. Okay, all the work will happen from India. Representing Indian business, they want one person to sit in the US, okay, where his salary is costing, everything is responsible from the Indian side. He's located, he's sitting in the US office just for coordination purpose with the US business entities. Then I hire an employee in the Indian business, Western India, but I can assign the employee location as Chicago. He's sitting there. He's representing the Indian business. In such scenarios, we need a location should be part of both US business and India business. When I'm hiring an employee against US business also, Chicago should be one of the location coming in the drop down. When I'm hiring against India also, Chicago should be one of the location coming in the drop down. If I want this employee to sit in Chicago representing Indian business, his payroll, cost, everything accounted to Indian business. That is the way. So that is the purpose. SF gives one location to have many legal entities, one to many. One represents location, many represents legal entities. That is the way. So this is how we even saw association of one legacy foundation object to other legacy foundation object, that is both corporate data level objects, and location with legacy foundation object to MDF foundation object legal entity also. So all these possible ways are done. And for this, the front-end association in the business configuration, what we do is also standard success factors pre-delivered. Not only these two lines, for this one-to-many association with legal entity, whatever we are required to do in the business configuration level. In the business configuration level also, between legal entity and location, location is the lower level one. Go to the location object. Here under field criteria, this is what is required to maintain, which is also pre-delivered. You need not specifically explicitly maintain it in the standard XML of succession data model. This is also pre-delivered given. Okay, so MDF related foundation objects related association only is what we are configuring explicitly, but this dependency with corporate data model, whatever we have, SF has pre-delivered this. Okay.
Yes, Suresh, I have a doubt, Rupa here.
Yeah, Rupa, please.
Yeah, if we take example of Reliance, so Reliance we have telecom, we have petroleum and all, and the location is common. Say example Mumbai, Chennai and all. So now location in this case will be Chennai, and legal entity will be petroleum, Reliance Petroleum, and one more Reliance Telecom, right?
Exactly. They can create multiple legal entities as Reliance Petroleum, Reliance Communications, Reliance Steels, whatever they have, all that legal entities here. So you hire next any legal entity, this location of Chennai or whatever will come up automatically.
Okay. Yeah. Thank you.
Excellent. You are very clear in understanding. Thanks for that. Any others? Any other questions, guys? Okay. So this is what an associations that we are seeing between, that might be MDF or legacy objects, which are all standard. Zero zone, location, legal entity, business unit, division, department, everything are standard objects you are trying to connect. That's fine. Now, if my customer has a requirement of custom layers, guys, they are requiring custom layer as sub business unit or a subdivision, sub department, anything additional layers coming in. They can't fit their business into 4 layered. They have 5, 6 layered. Okay, we can enhance it, and there is no limit on the number of layers. If they want to have 12 layered structure also, we are supposed to give it, but that never happens. Maximum what we see in real time is 8 layers. Standard SF given as 4. Maximum what I saw is 8. Some people come with sub departments. Under sub departments they have sections, subsections, Under departments, they say again they have some sections, subsections like that. Or this business unit, they relabel it as vertical. Under vertical, they say they want sub verticals like that. So maximum around 8 layers is what I saw. So 12, 14 and all, it's very rare. I did not even see in my 8 projects. Okay, but point to highlight here is you don't have any limit. Any number of layers you want to have, you can keep on connecting. One layer with its parent, that layer with its parent. Okay, C's parent is B, B parent is C, B parent is A. Like that, it keeps on expanding to the top. And for having that additional layers, a subdivision, let us take an example of a subdivision to be created. That is, say here, example, I'm creating it as subdivision, guys, an additional layer. Now I want to have an association between division and subdivision. These two are to be connected now. Okay, division should be connected to subdivision, and obviously department should be directly connected to now subdivision, not to the division. So here to here and from here to here, this way the connectivity has to change now. Now if I have to have this, first of all, subdivision is not standard success factors pre-delivered. I have to first configure that. So how do I configure this subdivision as a new object or a new layer is? So first of all, it is a, when you say subdivision and all coming in org structure, it is a foundation object is what we say. Custom foundation object, custom one. So when foundation objects, where can we have foundation objects as of our knowledge? Foundation objects can be in two places. Either they can be coming from the corporate data model, or they can be in the front end tool MDF based through configure object definitions we can create. Two places. So now where should I create a new one for that question? Definitely not the corporate data model, because SF itself is reducing the dependency on corporate data model XML. They are bringing the things onto the front end. Now you need not learn HTML, all this XML coding, and you need not write any new code in corporate data model. Whatever new object now you want to create it as subdivision here, one more, you create it under MDF platform itself. Where are all these MDF objects coming from? They are coming from configure object definition. So for creating a custom object, say custom as subdivision, I will make use of this configure object definition, where till now on the existing objects only you are referring. Division, department, business unit, legal entity, any existing objects you are referring here. Now if you want to have a custom object, on the right hand side, you can start creating create new object definition. You are going to create a new object. Create new object definition is what we click when, and here you are required to give the parameters. A new object you are going to initiate. For the new object that you are creating, initially there will be some attributes that you are required to fill, and then on your new object screen, the way when you are creating a division, these are the screen fields you have. Now if you want to create a new object called subdivision, so for that, what are the screen fields that should be there whenever you create a new subdivision? So what should be the screen fields? That is what you are required to define in the object definition. Here under the fields section, you will define it. Okay, so first let us start with the attributes of this object. That is a custom object. We are going to give it as code as subdivision underscore March, right? March 05. Subdivision created on March 5th. This is what, where automatically system will have this prefix maintained as cust underscore. This cust underscore is automatically maintained as that prefix. So subdivision March MAR05 is what we have given. System has prefixed it. And then effective dating. Effective date means whenever we are creating any division, department, anything in the system, it is asking us the date, right? So from which date is this division applicable in your business? Business might be started in the year of 1995, but a new division that we are creating or a new department that we are creating is applicable only from this year of 2021. In last 25 years, from 1995 to 2020, that department is not required in the company. But now we have started a new department since 2021. Then I give you that date. So like that, for anything you create, new location you open, new branch you open, new department you create, new division you create, you are required to have an effective date. Similar way, for my subdivision also, I would like to have effective date. So for that, I'm required to choose it as basic. If you don't want the date option at all, we keep it as none. And if you want the date option, we keep it as basic. So when do we use from parent and other things will come in the later sessions. So maximum it is recommended to use basic for sure. Do not keep it as none until and unless customer is saying we don't want the dates options and all, we never go for none. Basic is every time recommended. Basic means its system will automatically add this start date field into the object. Start date as a standard field will automatically get added. So now if I choose it as basic, system will give me a pop-up saying, are you sure you want to add that the system specific fields? System specific mandatory fields, if I say yes, that is nothing but the start date field is getting added automatically. That is appearing in a separate blue color because this is now just now added automatically because I selected that as basic. So it's a date field. Here if you see, it's a date field in which system will ask me to enter the date whenever I'm creating a new subdivision. That is one. And this API visibility is what you are required to keep it as editable, guys. What is API visibility means? Whenever we are trying to integrate success factors with any other systems, it might be with the on-premise SAP system or any other third-party softwares we are trying to integrate, the middleware platforms, HANA Cloud Integration Platforms we have, HCI, HANA Cloud Integration Platforms, middleware platforms. For those platforms to read the data from SF system, there will be something called APIs. Using that APIs, application programming interfaces, they will actually extract the data, they will read the data, they will put the data into a system, both the ways, to extract out of the system or to insert new data into the system through integrations. These APIs are required, in which we keep it as editable. If we keep it as editable, they can both read the data and they can even place new data into the system. That is the way. If you keep read only, they can extract the data from SF. If new data to be placed into SF through integration, they cannot keep it like that. If not visible, they can't identify this object through integration at all, where every time editable is recommended to make it open for integration. Status is obviously when any new object will be active. At any point of time, if you are not going to use this subdivision in your company anymore, then we will keep it as inactive, but 99% every time it will be active. So these 4 fields are what we are required to maintain here, and then the label of the object. So the way how in the division screen, the managed data screen, you are seeing division as an object. Now subdivision as an object, new object has to come. That is what you are required to label it as subdivision. I'll just keep this tag as March'05. This is the one. With this label, now the object will appear in the managed data object. The way on the right hand side you are going to create for create new division, you are seeing, create new department you are seeing here. Similarly, create new business unit you are seeing here. Now system will bring it as one more object called create new subdivision. That is what the label of it we have given. So these are among around 15 attributes that we have here, guys. 10 to 15 attributes. These 5 are important. The first 4 till here, and then this label are required. So other things is later on we'll even discuss these things when we are discussing about workflow. These 3 more attributes will be required when we are discussing about workflows, approvals, all that. As of now, these are the attributes that we are required to maintain. Once these are maintained, now come to the bottom where the fields. Now if I go for create new subdivision, if I say, the screen should come. Now if I click on create new business unit, the way how the screen will come for creating a new business unit, what all fields will come. Similarly, when I click on create new subdivision also, some fields should come. Start date, subdivision code, subdivision name, like that. So that is what here under fields I am required to configure. In that regard, by default, code and name will be pre-delivered by success factors whenever we create a new object. Any object you create, entries are required. For every entry that you create, say subdivision 1, subdivision 2, subdivision 3, anything you create, code and name are mandatory. That's why code and name is what SF will by default give. But for that, they will appear on the front end as external code, external name. If you want to have that appearing as subdivision code, subdivision name, going under the details, you will have a label field here. You can give the label. So standard label is external code. I will relabel it as subdivision code. Next is name field, which is subdivision name. Here it will be as external label, external name. I'll relabel it as say subdivision name. Subdivision name. Sorry, again I'm making a mistake. Okay, this is the way I have given it. So 2 fields, code, name, and even start date. For every entry that I'm creating, I want to have a start date of it. That is a date field. When I kept it as basic here, effective rating, system automatically added. And one more thing is I want to have head of subdivision. So like every division has a department, every division level, here you have every business unit level, you have head of business unit. Every division level, head of division, head of department we have. Now for subdivision also I want to have a head. So that is head of subdivision level. I'll just keep the field as head as a one more field I'm adding. For that field here, the data type is where we are required to give it as at the bottom you have user as a type, guys. User means this is a field that will store some employee number. It's not a string field, it's not a date field, it is a user field. It will accept only employee number which is existing in this system. As on date, if there are 1000 employees, in that 1000 employees any number only it will be allowing us like that. Okay, so this way we can assign, and the label of it I can give the label as head of subdivision, like this, where I decided to have 1 2 3 4 fields on my screen. Whenever I create a new subdivision, these 4 fields should appear. Now with this, field section is also defined. Now at the coming to the extreme bottom, you can just save it and you're done with your custom layer. A custom object creation will be done. But before you just click on save, there is one area called security, guys. Security is an area where it will be kept as secured. This object is secured. That is, to access this object, permissions are required is what it means. Okay, but at this stage, creating these permissions and getting the process lengthy is not required. We'll look into it at a later point. While you guys are practicing also, I recommend to keep this secured as no, so that system will not stop you for any permissions. It will be accessible to everybody. So secured as no. Just go to the extreme bottom. Now save it. So what we have done while creating new object. Okay, one more second. When you click on save, if any pop-up comes, just click on save, guys. Need not wait for anything. It's just by default internally, since the system will set some parameters. Whatever pop-ups come, just confirm them. So whatever we have done is went to the right hand side, create new object definition level. In configure object definitions, create new object definition, code of the object, basic as the effective dating, API visibility editable, status active, and the label of the object, subdivision MER05. This is what we have given. And then fields level, code and name are standard as a pre-delivered already. We given the labels of it. We went to the details and we updated the labels of code and name. Date is what, when I choose this as basic, system has brought that date field, and one more custom field I added, head, that is head of this subdivision. I kept the data type to user in the drop down. Data type to user I selected, and the label I have given as head of subdivision. So these are the 4 fields I configured. Obviously MDF system fields got added. As we remember, in the standard objects like divisions, departments also, there are MDF system fields. Even for the custom objects that you create also, MDF system fields will be automatically created like that, which are technical fields which will not appear on the front end at all. Only these 4 fields what we decided to have, only that will appear. Other MDF system fields will never appear on the front end. They are only for some technical prerequisite purpose. They will be added automatically by the system. Okay, so that's it. And one more thing, we had made sure that security is kept to no, to make us go ahead with the configuration without any dependencies on permission at this stage. Further we'll see all the permissions. So this is what we have done. Now because this object is readily available under configure object definition, now if I want to create subdivisions, subdivision as an object is created, I want to create some subdivisions, subdivision 1, subdivision 2, subdivision 3, like that. The way how we are creating multiple business units, multiple divisions, departments, I want to create multiple subdivisions. So for that I will go for On the same manage data, this time right hand side, search for subdivision. Here you start typing the words as subdivision. This has started coming, subdivision MAR05. This is what we have created, a new object. Till now it is not present because now object is created, it is available. If I select this, the fields come up: subdivision code, subdivision name, start date, and the head of the subdivision are the 4 fields what we decided to have. With that screen fields, one MDF object we created. Custom MDF object is what we created. Okay, so till now guys, we are aware of foundation objects, normal foundation objects, okay, which are coming from corporate data model. Then we have MDF foundation objects, MDF, I can say directly MDF FOs, MDF foundation objects, which are coming through configure object definitions. And now what we created is a custom MDF foundation object. For this, the examples are which are coming from the corporate data model: location, pay grade. These are some etc. are the examples of foundation objects. MDF foundation objects level, you have divisions, business units, departments, all these blue colored. And now custom MDF is what I created as subdivision is what I created. Normal foundation, MDF foundation, custom MDF foundation. This is the third one that we created now. That is the way the screen has brought up. So with this, in this org structure, which is a subdivision as a one more layer I want, I got it created. That is ready. But it is like initially this association, nothing is there. Now I created just a layer, one more layer. That means in this PPT, if I have to add along with these objects, here one more object I can add it as one more as subdivision, which is also in blue color. I can add one more max. But linking, the way how standard SF has delivered independently everything, and we started connecting them through associations. Now one more block, if I add as custom subdivision, even that I have to connect with the standard layers. So if I have required to connect, I wanted to place it here. Subdivision between division and department, I want to place it. In that case, between division and subdivision, here if you, between these two, if you are required to establish an association, where should we go, guys? Division and subdivision level. If I am required to have an association, where should I go for establishing the association? To which object I should go? Tell me which object, not the screen. Which object should I define the association at? Division or subdivision?
Subdivision.
Exactly, because every time whenever we are trying to connect two objects, we are connecting with the bottom layer. So between business unit and division level I am doing the configuration. Between division and department level I am doing configuration. Same way now between division and subdivision level I have to do the configuration to associate with its parent. Now subdivision is independently being created here. It's independent. I create say subdivision 1, some SD1 with effective date as say 1st of March. Example, head of subdivision, I want to assign somebody, say Alex as a person. If I want to assign, he is the head of this subdivision. So now if you just start typing their names, system will bring the existing employee names. Because head of subdivision field, we have kept the data type as this head field, we kept the data type as user here. User is a data type which will be able to search with among the current data what is available, current employee data. So one subdivision is created. Why not one more? Let me create one more as subdivision 2, SD2, some subdivision 2 with same again March 1st as an effective date, something saying that from 1st of March these subdivision 1 and 2 are applicable in our business. Head of subdivision is not mandatory. Save it. So with this, now I am having we are having two subdivisions, SD1, SD2, two created, but both are independent. SD1, SD2 are both are independent. It is not connected with any parent here. Here on the left hand side, you did not have any association. Okay, same like how the standard objects will appear in the fresh customer system independently. How divisions, business unit, everything will independently appear. That is how it is appearing now. If you are required to connect this with the parent called division, then as just now someone told, we are required to go to the subdivision object, because between division and subdivision is the lower level one. So go to the subdivision object. This is the subdivision object definition. Here link it with its parent association of division. So in the correction mode, after the fields section is done, you have the association section, where here now you can have the association done. That is, you can give a name to the association. So I'll give it as to div something. To the division is what I'm trying to connect. Multiplicity, whenever we are maintaining any association, one to many only we should follow. Technical prerequisite. And destination object, with what I want to connect is, I want to connect it with the parent as division. So division is the standard object I'm trying to connect. And now here the type of association is valid when obviously division is separate layer, subdivision is separate layer. I'm trying to connect two different layers, valid when as an association. These are what we are required to maintain. So the name of the association, whatever you want to give, there is no SF standard recommendation for that, no naming convention. Anything you want to give, you give it. One to many, destination object, and the type. With this, now go to the bottom and save this. That means now your object is updated with its association to the parent layer standard object. A custom subdivision is connected with the standard division. A custom subdivision is connected with a standard division here. Now in the manage data screen, till now subdivision, division, any subdivisions that we are creating, SD1, SD2, anything, they are independent. But now if I try to create a new subdivision, it will display me the division field here. To division, the name of the association. So all the divisions that are present in the system will appear. So by default, system will give you the division code, whatever we have given here, the division name, the association name, what we have given to div, that will appear here on the front end. If you want to label it as properly as division, so again is this association level also under details. Let me just open it in editable mode. So in the associations level, the place where you have given this association name, here under details, you will have a label. Here you can give it as say division, like this. If I give it as division, if I relabel, save it. So once this is saved, now if I try to create a new subdivision here under manage data, if I create new subdivision, system will display the subdivision fields along with the parent division. These are the division parents I have to select for every division that for every subdivision that I create. This is how you created a new layer which is not even present in SF. You got it created, and this you connected with one of the parent layer, that is division. So every subdivision I create, say if I create one more as SD3, so this thing I want to connect it with one of the existing parent divisions. Say division, say example, if I say corporate services, I'm linking with it, save it. This way association of the custom layer with a standard layer is also done here. Of course, whatever we do here in the MDF object level, configure object definitions level, is only 50%. You have to get this even represented in the employee profile level. Tomorrow when you're hiring an employee, the way you choose your employee business unit, employee division, department, here one more field called subdivision also you are required to assign. Employee is part of which subdivision, here one more field should come. So that is the other configuration we do in the business configuration side, the balance 50%. Till now what we saw is the 50% on the object definition side. First creating an object and having that object connected with the parent object, that we saw. How the remaining remaining part of bringing it even on the people profile level should happen is what it will take 20 more minutes of discussion. So I don't want to extend it now. We'll take it freshly on the Monday session. Any questions still here, guys?
Suresh, that 50%, rest of the 50% will be in manage business configuration, correct?
Exactly, because I need to add one more custom field called subdivision and connect division and subdivision. So here between division and department, one more field called subdivision custom field we are required to add and connect those two fields. Okay, but there will be a slight change. how do we maintain these two fields, whatever we have done. Between that and the custom one, a slight change will be there. So that's why I don't want to take it now in a hurry mode. I'll make it slowly in the Monday session again. Okay. And
Suresh, you said whenever we create a new object.
Sorry, what's that, Poonam?
Whenever we create a new object, internal number range is assigned, so which is not displayed on the screen. Where can we see that internal number range? Let's say we are creating multiple divisions and departments, and I do not remember it was division 1 or division 2.
That is the code. That is the code where we are currently giving only manual thing. Okay, any departments or divisions or subdivisions, code is what the numbers that you are seeing in SF. So this is code which as of now we are keeping it as manual only. How to have automation process we'll see in the further sessions. So we have a concepts for number generation, both for employee number generations and for these objects level number generations, positions level number generations automatic. We have a separate configuration which will require business rules concept, which we'll discuss in our down the line sessions, business rules part. Then you'll understand. As of now, we get just manual way. So even if I go for creation of one more subdivision, you see this coming as a free text field. But say if you see the standard object, say department, I guess here it's already kept automatic coding. Yeah, so you see this code is field which is hidden, I mean which is a read-only mode. You need not fill anything. You create whatever data name you want and you click on save button. System will auto generate a code for this department automatic. That's the number sequence or number generation we'll see in the further sessions. Okay. Yeah. Any others?
Suresh, we didn't get the recording for yesterday. So,
Parul, anything regarding recording, speak it out of the session. No chance to speak about recordings here. If you are not available for the session due to any reason you want recording, check it with Ashok or Naresh who are in touch with. They will update you. Okay.
Okay.
Fine, gentlemen. So this is all for now. So in the Monday session, this MDF, this custom layered based association, whatever we have done now, so that thing I'll repeat once again, and we'll complete the balance 50% of configuration in the business configuration side and see it on the employee profile record level as well. With that association based org structure setup, both with the standard layers and the custom layers will be done. Okay. Thank you one and all. I'll share you this associations document tonight or by tomorrow early hours. Okay. Thank you one and all. Have a nice evening. Have a nice weekend.
Thank you. We shall see you.
Thank you guys.